Yo, what's going on, Blackish University? I hope all is going well in the world around you. Now, this is for another part of my YouTube channel. We talk about Blackish University modern day griots. We talk about passing information down from one generation to the next. And I say a lot of our black families, right, our black households in the inner city, we don't even have fathers, right? We don't have big brothers a lot of times. So where are you getting that guidance from? And it's so important that, especially in our black and brown communities, that we understand our rights and we understand and we're able to interpret the law. I want to get to, this is called case law. This is something called Wilson versus Arkansas. And this is a case that's heard by the Supreme Court, and this does what's called setting precedent, right? The Supreme Court oversees the laws of the land, right? So what happened in Wilson versus Arkansas? There was a lady named Charlene Wilson, and she was selling drugs, right? She sold drugs to a narc. It was a foreman that was working for the Arkansas State Police. The police purchased weed, they purchased meth, and it was at a home that she shared with somebody named Bryson Jacobs. So the police obtained a warrant, and they went to go search the Wilsons' house, and they were going to arrest both of them. When the search happened later that afternoon, now the police officers, they went to the front door, and they found the door open. Now pay attention, because this plays a big part in everything that went down. While they opened an unlocked screen door, they entered the residence. They identified themselves as the police, and they said they had a warrant, which they had. When they went into the bathroom, they found Wilson, Charlene Wilson. She was flushing weed down the toilet. And then they also, when they searched the home, they obviously arrested and charged them, but they charged her with delivery of weed, delivery of meth, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession, of course, of the weed. She even pulled a pistol out, if I'm not mistaken, on the narc, and was like, yo, if you're a motherfucking narc, I'm going to kill you, right? She had all these things going against her. But what happened when she actually went to when she went to court, and this is the importance of having an attorney and understanding the law. Before the trial even got started, they filed a motion to suppress the evidence that was picked up during the search. You're like, why would they do that? Obviously, everyone wants to, but why would the court agree to that? Well, what they said was the search was invalid because the officers, they failed to do what's called knock and announce before they entered her home. And keep in mind, they did have a warrant. They even know that she sold drugs because she sold to an undercover officer. So basically, the trial court, they did what's called suppressing the motion. They denied the motion, and she had a jury trial. She was, of course, convicted of all charges, and she was sentenced to 32 years in prison. She appealed, right? You have to appeal. You always have to take it to the next step. Now, think about somebody fighting for disability, right, in the hood. They're always going to deny you the first time. That's how they deter people, right? The lengthy process, and, they make you jump through hoops, for sure. But basically, she took it to the state Supreme Court. Now, they affirmed the conviction on the appeal. They found no authority that the Fourth Amendment protects you against unreasonable search and seizure. They said the Fourth Amendment did not require officers to knock and announce themselves when entering a residence when they're executing a search warrant. So the main issue that the Supreme Court looked at was the failure of the police to knock and announce before they went into Wilson's home a violation of their Fourth Amendment, right? The unreasonable search and seizure. And basically the answer was yes. The United States Supreme Court, they reversed their decision, right? Think about it. She was sentenced to 32 years in prison. and basically they said that the knock and announce principle formed a part of the Fourth Amendment's reasonableness inquiry, right? So a search or seizure of your dwelling, right, of your house, it might be constitutionally defective, right? If police officers entered without prior announcement, and that's exactly what happened. So again, it's important to understand your rights, right? The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution protects the right of the people to be secure in their home, their papers, their effects, right, against unreasonable searches and seizures. Now, evaluating the scope. Now, the court they normally look at precedent, right? They look at what's called common law when they make these decisions. But it's important to be able to reference them so that you understand your rights. Do you know that when a cop, I'm from Chicago, and the police will say, "Hey, I know my rights. You can't videotape me." It's like, yes, I can. And they get really feisty, right? Well, how do you know? How do you know the law? Are you trying to say I don't know the law? It's like, well, I'm trying to tell you that I know the law as well, and I'm a student of the law, and this is what it means. Ooh, they hate that, but there's such a good feeling when you're able to understand the world around you. And again, I hate to be this way, but it's not what you do. It's not what you did. It's what you can prove and how you can defend yourself in court. And again, I always tell people, I'll say it the same, do not blow for a DUI. Don't walk the walk. Don't ever do if they ask to search your car, the answer is always no. And again, it's not because they're not going to do it anyway, right? You're saying no because you can argue that the search wasn't reasonable. They didn't have probable cause. And if they didn't have probable cause to stop you in the first place, everything after that is thrown out. Now, if you consent, anything they find is admissible, right? So even if they didn't have probable cause, so it's always important, never consent to them searching your car. And they might try to question it or say, "Oh, we're going to get the dogs." They can't do that for everyone. And the rules, the Supreme Court has said that they can't hold you for an unusually long time. It has to be proportionate to other stops, right? So you can't just wait there on the side of the road for 20 or 30 minutes while they get these dogs, these canines that come to search and smell. So I'd always say you do not consent to the search and then let things play out from there. But you be respectful when you say it. I just wanted to go over that's exactly what happened. Now, this is considered the Wilson versus Arkansas case. Again, it was looked at in 1995. That basically talks about knock and announce when you're serving a warrant, right? What the police can and cannot do. So I just wanted to share that with the world so you have a better understanding when these things happen to you, when you need to approach a lawyer and maybe get another opinion or fight something or take something to a different court.